And we are all in alignment with Anita and Cheryl, helping you create sacred spaces. We have been working on our Power of an Unstoppable Woman live and in-person event, right? My partner's going, whoa! What's been really interesting is some of the speakers have been, all of the speakers have been helping us promote. And fascinating that people are responding to the fact that it's live and in person. So if you're one of those people, and I don't know who we have joining us yet, good morning to whoever.
Well, we have two people that are going to be attending. Good morning, Sharon. Good morning, Dal.
Good morning, ladies.
Oh, and one of them is going to be a vendor.
Ooh, I'm excited about that. Two reasons. I want to go back to the event though first, so I'm going to digress here for a second. The event itself and the live and in-person part is becoming really important, apparently. So, all that said, gather your girlfriends. Let them know about this event. Often we have been getting together, and it's for a birthday celebration, an anniversary, or a loss. Some kind of mission has transpired that isn't necessarily the most celebratory. As we get older, hello, those things happen a little more frequently. Not that I want to talk about that. However, it is just one of those things. So when I messaged my girlfriends and was inviting them, when was the last time we were together? We meet for coffee for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, but we haven't spent quality time together. And this event is that perfect opportunity. Red Deer, centrally located. Maybe you have friends like Sharon. She's from BC. Her friend from Saskatchewan is coming, and they're meeting in the middle. Why not make this a really spectacular opportunity to gather with those girlfriends you haven't seen for a while?
You know, I also think, this is only just me, my observation, that women our age, you know, kind of our age group, I prefer talking to someone in person,
Yes,
and or picking up the phone, right? So many times, you know, I do have a few friends that will send me this great big long text, and I'm like,
I'm not reading.
oh, and you don't want to know what I say. And then I just delete it, and I pick up the phone and I go, I don't want, you know, I don't want to communicate that way. I don't want to go these big long texts back and forth. I mean, number one, my finger gets sore because I'm the texter like this.
So am I.
I'm not the this texter, right? So I don't even know how they do that. I have no clue. I do this,
I
right?
actually even prefer speaking into the phone.
Yeah, so it's like I just pick up the phone and call you, and you're absolutely right. In person is always 100% better. So
Yes.
so anyways, yeah, in-person Power of an Unstoppable Woman event, Red Deer, Alberta. Join us, tell your friends, all of that good stuff. And we are going to talk about Feng Shui this morning because Cheryl and I are both essential Feng Shui practitioners certified from the Western School of Feng Shui in San Diego, California. And our beautiful teacher, mentor, friend, Tara Catherine Collins, who is the author of 6 books, one of which sold over 1 million copies, I want to say.
I think I bought 20 or 30 of
we
those.
always get our topic for the day from the Feng Shui Personal Paradise card deck.
Yes,
There
we
we go.
do.
That's the infomercial, and we have been doing this for a very long time. We have a boatload
This
of
is episode
information.
this is episode 179. So
Wow.
179 weeks because we do this once a week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anyways, they're all on YouTube. You can
Yeah.
go there and watch them. And you can even watch a little thing with Tara Catherine Collins. I think we've had her twice now, or three times, or
We
something.
have, we have. All right. Well, I've already had
Okay, good morning, Connie. Good morning, Connie. How's your coffee this morning? Leave me a little message there. Inside joke, not joke.
Sure.
Anyways,
It's all good.
yeah.
It's all good.
Okay,
So I've
what are
had
the cards?
cards. 3 cards fly out. All right. The first one that flew out is number 24, the stove. Hey,
The
good
stove.
looking. What you got cooking?
The stove.
Stove.
Hmm.
Then came number 32. This is a really interesting. This is going to be interesting.
Okay.
Number 32, children's bedrooms.
Hmm. Hmm.
So we've had 24, which is a 6,
Mm-hmm.
32, which is a 5,
Mm-hmm.
and number 20, fireplaces.
Wow. What does that all got to do with, well,
That's why I said this is going to be and look at this. They are all surrounded in the green border,
oh,
which
all a
is
little wood
all
energy.
wood energy.
Hmm.
Interesting, hey?
Hmm.
Now,
Well, their
children,
other commonality is that
there's a 2 in each one of them.
stove, fireplace, right?
Fire,
Fire energy.
yes.
And children's bedrooms. Well, I don't know about you, but my
That's
grandchildren
a
are
little bit
little
of fire.
firecrackers. So yeah, that's there's another common theme.
And they all have the number 2 in the card.
And they all have a number two. Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I actually am being told to start with the 222.
Okay.
Okay,
Well, there
so
you go.
we're gonna do things up a little different today. All righty. I will listen. Doesn't mean I follow
Hmm.
direction well, but I always refer to, for those of you just joining us for the first time, the Double Digitology book, Marilyn Harper, Joy Roby. The 222 creates another energy completely. You've got the master builder in the 22, but you also have the master builder that is acknowledging the wondrous mechanisms of their foundation. 222 adds up to a 6, which points to material possessions and giving birth to new ideas. It asks you to pay attention to material things, which have very little foundation. The 6 has a rolling foundation, not steady at all. The 2
Hmm.
acknowledges your beliefs. The 222 takes that acknowledgement of your belief system, your energy, and your focus and brings it into a place where you will encounter and teach. It brings in a frequency that invokes the divine partnership and the building aspects of all that the galaxy offers. This is why the 222 is so significant.
Hmm.
All right.
I love that. I was actually listening this morning to a YouTube recording of
Mhm,
some dear friends of ours, Lee Carroll and Monica Morani,
mhm,
and they were guests on a show, and they were talking about um, the Akash, and they were talking about karma and life lessons
mhm,
and
mhm,
the 24th pair of chromosomes in our DNA, which is all about mastery
mhm.
and that divine energy, etc. Right? So giving birth to some new ideas, and it was totally that. And those two are absolute masters. We know that
Yes.
they have a divine partnership. So I love all of that. And then just when you were reading it, when that part, when you said giving birth to new ideas and paying attention to your possessions,
Mm.
a friend of mine was sharing a story with me the other day. She lives, Marianne actually. She pops on sometimes. She lives out on the West Coast. Now, she had a friend in Calgary who is a shaman, and he decided about a month ago or so that spirit was telling him it's time to move.
Yep.
To you need to make a move. So he sat down and he was trying, deciding, okay, well, what do I want? Well, I want, he made a little list. And then he proceeded to take all his worldly possessions, all of them,
Hmm.
and he gave them away. Everything, everything. He gave them away. He
Very cool.
only kept his clothes and his personal items. And he got in his car, like, I mean, obviously it was a process to
Right.
do all that. Then he got in his car and he knew he wanted to head out to the West Coast because that
Hmm.
was part of his list. And when he was driving out there, he decided that, you know what, he wanted a tiny house and he got really specific. Well, by the time he got to the West Coast and he had had a conversation with Marianne, it just so happened that one of her neighbors that very day had just moved in a tiny house on their property that they were going to rent out. It was just like boom, 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 boom,
Boom. You know
right?
you're in flow when.
And it was just like this incredible story. And I mean, we have another friend, David, who
Who's
has
done that
given his
multiple times.
worldly possessions away 7 times,
Yep.
right? And so when you say that that number 6 has no foundation, and we have to pay attention to our possessions, it's about, maybe we put too much energy into those possessions.
Hmm.
and and the path to that divine partnership and that being a master, um, is not all of this, right? It's not all of that stuff. Hmm. Anyways, what does that have to do with the stove, children's bedrooms, and
Well,
fireplace?
I think it has a lot to do with it. So, interestingly enough, yesterday, Anita and I met and we were working on the Power of an Unstoppable Woman, which we try to get together every Thursday, and that's our working day, our planning day. And then afterwards, my golf partner and friend, Kathy, came out with me and she come over to the house for a bit. And we were in my office because I'm in a bit of a dilemma as to how I want to situate things. Since the renovation, some possessions don't fit where they did. And I liked how it was,
Mm-hmm.
not liking the new setup. So it took her all of 30 seconds to go, well, why don't you try this and this? It was that fresh perspective.
Mm.
And then we talked about other options for use of some shelves in other areas. Fresh perspective. We get so bogged down, and that includes Anita and I. So we know what you're going through.
Mm-hmm.
A fresh perspective, a fresh set of eyes sometimes can make all the difference. And the reason that connects back to children's bedrooms is because my office was a children's bedroom, which is
Mm-hmm.
often the case in home offices, right? We've
Mm-hmm.
we've reutilized what was designated a child's bedroom. So they can be multi-purpose. We don't have to give them the label and stick to the label. And maybe that's what this is all about, is sticking to labels that someone else have given us. The ways in the past that we were thinking of because of an old way of thinking, an old paradigm. So like your Marianne's friend, the shaman, he was willing, I assume it was a
Yep.
he was willing to just say, I'm letting it all go and I'm starting with a clean slate.
Mm-hmm.
What do I want? This, and this, and let's just allow it to unfold. And that trust in the allowing it to unfold is kind of like the trust we have in these cards are going to unfold.
Yeah.
Some magical way. We're going to connect fireplaces,
Mhm.
stove, and children's bedrooms. And I like the way you started that, Anita, with the fact that all of them are fire energy.
And we are actually, this month of August
Hmm.
is actually fire energy. And it's, if you look into traditional feng shui, it
Hmm.
actually, there's a little cycle going on right now, and it's into the fire energy. And then we're also going into the full moon, right? Which I would
Oh my
consider
goodness.
that's a big ball of fire energy that we see in the
And I
sky
don't
at night.
anybody else, I could not sleep last night. It was still, I was watching the clock every hour. And it was
Yeah.
after 2, and I would try to go to bed at 10:30, and then it
Mm,
was 11, and then 12. Anyway,
hmm
I
hmm
digress. So when
Yeah.
I let the dog out multiple times, I was observant that the sky, I thought the full moon's got to be right around the corner. I think it's tonight, actually.
Yep. Hmm
Um, because the sky, even though it was overcast, it was bright last night. It was very,
Mm.
very bright. So
Hmm.
what does all of this have to do with feng shui? Well, feng shui, the words actually mean, actually, there's that word actually again. The words mean wind and water. And it's that pairing of the unseen energy with the seen energy that creates the whole.
hmm
What Anita and I are working with our students, and her especially now with the certification program coming up for feng shui, essential feng shui practitioner training. The unseen energy is what we like to talk about. So that flow, that connection of the unseen energy, where is it going? What's it tapping into?
hmm
And trusting. It goes back to that trust again. The stove, hub of the home.
Well, just when you were talking, I'm thinking, okay, the stove sits there,
Hmm.
right? It sits there and it's like this big black thing or this big
White or
stainless
silver.
steel thing
Yeah.
or this big white thing that sits there. And it really has no, what's the word? No purpose, maybe, until you flick the switch,
Mhm.
right? And then then you have that circuit of energy. And again, that's unseen energy.
Unseen.
Electricity is unseen energy.
So is the
You can
gas.
feel the effect of it when you put your hand on the
Hmm.
stove or you see the burners turn red, but you cannot see with your eyes the electricity.
Hmm.
But the effect that it has is now it can cook this beautiful, beautiful meal,
With
right?
your help.
With your help. It's about turning it on. And I think feng shui is a lot like that. In there is always that unseen energy around us. And
Hmm.
it's just a matter of, it's always there because everything is connected with energy. And
Hmm.
it's just a matter of our awareness, looking through our energetic eyes to say, how is that unseen energy affecting me and how I show up in the world? How
Exactly.
is it affecting my mind, body, spirit, mental, physical, emotional health,
Hmm.
which is, the stove, right? The stove is an important piece of furniture in every home, and we all have one, right? But have you ever thought that, hey, this is really cool. There's unseen energy there.
I like
Uh,
it.
yeah, and then, if we talk about the children's bedrooms and
Hmm.
them being little firecrackers, of course, maybe this is all about that reminder just to start to look at things differently
Hmm.
through the curious eyes of a child. Children are always asking questions. Well, why? Well, why? Well, why? Do you remember when your children
The
were like
the
2 and 3
famous
years
why
old
question.
and you would say, because, right?
Or you
Um,
heard as a child because I said so.
yeah, because I said so. Um, so it's that curiosity. So let's be a little curious, and and, not always take for truth or golden rule that the things that you can physically see and touch um, are the thing, right?
Hmm.
Because they're maybe not the thing. Anyways.
I like that. I like that a lot, Anita. And when you're talking, I'm also thinking, well, the fireplace, when we're talking about seen and unseen, is a perfect combination of that. Because when the fire is crackling and sparkling, you can see that. But the effects of that is the heat it radiates. And you
Mm.
can't see the heat, but you can feel it. So
Hmm.
there's that unseen energy again. And um, in that, the fireplace, for the fire to work, it needs the proper environment. If it's raining and pouring, which wherever there's forest fires right now, that's what we're all wishing for, a huge dump of rain
Hmm.
extinguishes it. That's not the perfect environment for it to flourish. Children's bedrooms. If your children aren't getting proper sleep, and you have a great story about one of your boys growing up, Anita,
Hmm.
that when you shifted and started learning feng shui, and when you shifted a couple things in his bedroom,
Yep.
he you created the proper environment, and the
Hmm.
effect on him was instant. And you've done that for your niece and her children, I believe.
Hmm.
I mean,
Yep.
we've all impacted different lives. And I'd love for you, if you don't mind, to share that story about your son, because that's the impact
Absolutely.
of the unseen energy.
Hmm. And actually, at the time, the bedroom, two of my sons were small. They were like 5 and 7 or 6 and 8, something like that. 6 and 8, I think. And at the time, I didn't know any better. I
Mm-hmm.
hadn't started to look at things energetically through my
Right?
feng shui eyes, and I had decorated their bedroom. There were two single beds in the room, and I had decorated it with the theme of Thomas the Choo Choo Train
Mm-hmm.
because that was the only thing that was available to me as a mom, as a parent of two boys, when I went shopping for room decor, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the comforters. Now, what's a choo-choo train? That's very active energy, like it's
Yep.
movement, right? And then, of course, I decided to paint the room red. There was red accents and there was blue. I just picked
Mm-hmm.
up the colors in the choo-choo train theme, right? Because you got to have everything matchy matchy. Well, the result was that neither one of them were sleeping
Sleeping.
properly. They would stay up late, their toys were in there, all of that thing. So when I started to look energetically through feng shui eyes and realized that that room was just a big ball of fire, it was keeping them awake. It was activating their energy. It was affecting their autonomic nervous
Nervous
system,
system. Yeah.
right? That was the big thing. And literally within 3 days after when I came home and I I ended up having to sew my own comforters because I could not find anything in a
Mm-hmm.
neutral, soft, calming color.
Mm-hmm.
Repainted within 3 days. My son was not getting out of bed. He used to get out of bed at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, and it was like after 8. And he was like, well, it's your fault because you feng shuied my room. But anyways, yeah, so how cool
I
is
love
that?
that.
And we could take that example and bring
Yes.
it into our adultness
Mm-hmm.
bedrooms,
Mm-hmm.
because maybe there's a little too much fire energy in there.
Or
And
not
again,
enough, right? It's
always
always
look at the
that
results.
balance. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's that balance. And it's no different than, and I'm going to bring this right back to my office. Why am I not in my office?
Hmm.
I could be set up in my office.
Hmm.
Something's not right.
Oh, and it's because
Something's
of the
not
new
right.
the new paint color, maybe.
Well, it's to me, I think it's the furniture placement, and it's just, it's not right, and I'm not feeling comfortable in there. I'm not inspired to be there. And I've really come to really like the chairs here in the kitchen. They're very good.
Oh,
So
maybe it's the
maybe it's my
chair.
office chair.
Maybe it's the office chair.
So I need to spend more time looking closer at my environment in there and what needs to go. And your story, my husband will not be impressed with this because your story of the shaman who gave everything away is like,
Ooh, let's try that.
oh, that's too funny. Anyway,
Yeah. Mm.
well, we look at that. We managed to tie together the stove, the children's bedroom, and the fireplace. Who
Who knew? Who knew? Who knew
knew?
we were that creative?
We are all
Oh,
creative. So, any comments in the chat in all of this that we need to address?
no, just some good mornings. And oh, Connie says, I was just looking at the space and wondering what to do. Okay, well, I don't know what space you're talking about, honey. Um, but if you want to elaborate on that, you can, by all
Or share us
means.
some pictures?
I am going to pop that link in from Lee Carroll and Monica Morani for
Mm-hmm.
any of you that are, on a spiritual journey, maybe are just starting to awaken or know someone that is. It's excellent. It's yeah, got some great insight. Anyway.
There's also an invitation that we received yesterday that I think is worth noting, and I think we should pop the link in here from Dame Doria. So Anita and
Ooh,
I had the opportunity to sit with and get to know a little bit Dame Doria Cordova. This woman, OMG, absolutely magnificent human being. And she has two dates. Today, this afternoon is one of them, and next week, where she is doing her Money and Me, a short,
Money and You.
or Money and You, sorry, Money
Yeah.
and You, um, Zoom, for lack of
Mm-hmm.
a better word.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the woman behind Tony Robbins, behind Robert Kiyosaki, behind Ken Honda. So if any
Jack
of those,
Canfield. Yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
She's their teacher
Yep.
and she is doing a free webinar. So I think we need to,
You know
um,
what? I think, how's this? Let's put the onus on you all. If you want it, private message us and we'll send you the link.
okay,
Let's do it that way. Mhm.
but okay.
Yeah.
Someone popping on later might not watch this all the way to the end. Okay.
But then they won't know what the heck the link's about anyways. So I like that. Put the onus on you. If you're interested, you want the link, get a hold of either Cheryl and I will give it to you. Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. That
Yeah.
works too. And of course, as we have said, this week, a big shout out. We've got a minute left. We had Reverend Rose Hope on our virtual stage, on our Power of an Unstoppable virtual stage. Now,
Mhm.
you can't register and get the recording anymore. However, that's a link that we should pop in here. It was about filling up your soul bank, and it
Mhm.
was magnificent.
It was very
The
good.
woman
Very good.
is very gifted. It was a spot on, loving rap, a rap of love, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And a great way to fill up your soul bank and things that you might not have, or perspectives that you might not have thought about in the past. Really worth listening to. And she's also one of our presenters at the live and in person event, Power of an Unstoppable Woman, coming up October 19th and 20th.
Well, and talk about giving away. She actually gave away her business. She had
Yes.
built up a very
Significant.
successful
Yep.
holistic. She was the very first holistic healthcare system business. Probably it still is. The company was earning over six figures, and she gave her company away. She actually had a contest because she wanted to give it away to someone that had the same values, the same heart mission that
Right.
she, and the same passion that she had for all of those clients, all of her event, anyways. Yeah. So I guess we're giving stuff away today. Maybe that's maybe there's
Part of the
a
theme
big
there
theme
too.
there too.
All right, we are at the top of the hour. So we want to thank you for joining us, whether it was live on Facebook, hashtag replay on Facebook, or on YouTube. We
Mhm.
appreciate you. We enjoy doing this. How do you want to wrap up for today, my friend, on this
Mhm.
2226, whatever other numbers come up today? It's 10:01. There's a couple of ones.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just thinking that maybe, the theme for today is look through your feng shui energetic eyes, see where there is that fire energy in your home, or,
Lack
maybe
of.
where there's an abundance of it or a lack of it.
Perfect. And on that note, I think the internet kicked out my partner.